Hey everybody, it's Callous, back with more Callous Invitational 6 action. This is round 3, and as with all round 3 matches, we are in the lower bracket. It is an elimination match. It was pointed out to me, I didn't realize this at the time that the pairing went up, that this is not only a rematch, but this is actually a trilogy match. It is the third meeting in one of my tours between Z0mOG and Mikmer. They played last year in round 1 of Callous Invitational 5, which I truly have almost zero recollection of that match, to be honest with you. Someone else, I think H-Clad, ended up narrating that series, so I don't really remember the specifics. But Mikmer, I believe, won that match. And then they also played, I didn't really remember this either till it was pointed out, in Callous Crew Challenge, also coincidentally in round 1, which was earlier in the year. And that one went the way of Z0mOG. They were both ADV sets, and they are 1-1. So this is not only the rubber match between them for, personal pride or what have you, but the stakes are higher than ever because unlike those two round 1 pairings, this is an elimination match. 2-1, if they were to win here, is fine. No matter what happens from there, it's a top 16, which is a top half finish in Callous Invitational, perfectly respectable. And maybe they go even further than that, top 8, make money, whatever. Whereas losing here and going out 1-2, I mean, it's not the worst score. 0-2 is obviously worse, but obviously nobody coming into this tournament is planning or wanting to go 1-2. I would think almost everybody would have a higher expectation or desire for themselves and would not be satisfied with a 1-2 finish. So, a fitting conclusion here. One of them will knock the other out to decide who wins the trilogy fight between these two. And we're going to find out who that is right now. It's Z0mOG on the bottom and Mikmer on the top. Game 1 in their best of 3. Men Centaur lead, both threatening to each other with things like Brick Break, Rock Slide, Ice Beam, what have you. Neither one comfortable with the matchup, and it's going to be Jirachi and Celebi switching in respectively, both of whom are now comfortable with the matchup, and they stay in for Leech Seed and Toxic, both of which connect. Natural Cure. We go to Skarm, and they both switched out. Mence comes in. It could have something like Fire Blast here, but almost always Skarm is going to stay in and Spike here. No, he pulls it back to Aerodactyl. That's an interesting switch. I would have spiked there always, but Mikmer sees it differently. We end up in a Skarm on Skarm situation, and after they both spike up, one of these has lefties, one of them does not. Thief comes down. And now it's 3 layers for both players, with neither having shown a spinner, and both having revealed 4 Mons, with 2 in the back hidden for both. Coon for Surf, and a crit. Before getting roared out, doesn't show anything new. It is the Jirachi. Skarm has lefties for Mikmer, but he does have a spinner, and he goes to Claydol. And there's been no ghost in sight for Zom, unlikely given his comp that he has one, and that rapid spin looks like something Zom cannot prevent. Like I said, I really doubt he has a ghost in the back. So the very heavy spikes advantage, 3 layers to 0, favoring Mikmer. Now the Claydol did have to eat a Toxic in exchange for that, but that is a very worthwhile trade. Mikmer's got to be a little bit ahead right now, simply based on the spike situation. Leech Seed there is protected against, gets a little more toxic damage on the B. Sure, why not? And Leech Seed happens now. Fire Punch with a crit is going to hurt there. It's actually going to put the Celebi really in danger. Just 5% it dips down to. It leeches up a little bit and then recovers, but it's not even that exciting because not only does the Toxic still knock it pretty low, but as it turns out, Z0mOG has a spinner as well. It's the exact same spinner, Claydol. Mikmer can punish it a little bit by Giga Draining, but the Toxic is really adding up at this point. And again, he doesn't have a spinner either. So that rapid spin occurs, and we are playing a spike-free game, at least for the moment. They both do still have their Skarm alive. And Mikmer is, again, not comfortable. He's going to go to the Aerodactyl, and that's going to eat a 57% Dragon Claw for its trouble. It Rock Slides now, gets a 27% roll. Claydol now at 34%, should be out of range. And T-Tar switches in as Jirachi does. Toxic misses there annoyingly, and then Fire Blast gets him for 57%. Mikmer again with a good turn there. There's Protect, sure, get some lefties, waste that valuable Fire Blast PP. He's only got 8 of those. catches him with a boosted pursuit as he goes away, 31%, leaving Rachi at just 19%. And now it's Kuhn again, calm minding up. Could be a threat to Celebi here. If it has Ice Beam, that would certainly be a big problem, but Celebi otherwise should be okay. Recover, and indeed it is Ice Beam, almost entirely negating the recover, 46%. Recover again, but Ice Beam again, begging at any time for a crit or a freeze. Not sure where Mikmer's going with this, but it can't possibly end well. And it's Leech Seed and a lethal Ice Beam. That's the first knockout of the series. Z0mOG with the lead. And now Jirachi's the final poke for Mikmer. Full squad revealed for him. Zom has not shown his last. And there's a CM and a +1 Thunder and a Para against a Skarm that we know doesn't have lefties anymore. Or vice versa, I'm sorry. He stole the lefties via Thief. So there is Spikes. 1 layer each. But Mikmer with a way healthier Skarm. And also there's a Para going on over there. But nevertheless, they are both spiking up. Here's the doll. Spike layer number 3 comes down. Zom going to try to spin it away. And he does. And the punishment is just a drill pack. A pretty heavy one, actually. 28%. He will not survive another should he stay in. Which, of course, he doesn't. Jirachi comes in as the spike gets reestablished. Protects for lefties. So gets out of the red and up to 31% for a little while anyway. And now he's going to go for Wish, which gets roared away. See what he wants to try to give that Wish to. It could be his own Skarm. He goes to Rachi, see if he can give it to that. But Mikmer does not allow it. But that was probably not the thing that he wanted to receive the Wish. It's going to be the doll now who's going to rapid spin. And he's going to get punished with Toxic. But the doll was previously very low. And it's now very healthy at 74%. Rachi again returns on the spike turn, 25%. Wishes immediately. Roar is going to prompt out Skarm. The reason he didn't protect there is because he didn't want to protect on a spike turn. And the Wish is going to get passed to Skarmory. So 3-2 Spike's advantage. Over prediction drill pack for Mikmer. And it's actually Mikmer who gets roared away, prompting out the Aerodactyl, who's going to immediately miss Rock Slide and get punished with a drill pack, 19%. Will live another one. Rock Slide fishing for Para Flinch. Gets it on the full Para. Rock Slide again. This time does not get it, and a critical hit drill pack is going to leave Mikmer down 6-4 now, and without his Aerodactyl, crucially. Rapid spin for Mikmer, and full Para. But yeah, that crit mattered for sure. Aerodactyl, whether it's at 1% or 100%, is very much a threat, and the difference between the crit or the not crit there is whether the arrow is alive or dead, so definitely mattered, and Z0mOG looking good in this game 1. Mikmer pushing the issue with the CM Rachi, though, which does look to be something that Zom does not have a fantastic answer for, though he may have to rely in some matchups on hitting Thunder, which, of course, kind of a crapshoot. Sometimes you just don't. Rachi on B. Ice Punch. Even with a boost, it's only 37%. That's got to be a not super special attack invested Rachi, if at all, and a very bulky Celebi. Doubles back to Skarm on Skarm now. Spike's advantage right now belongs to Mikmer 3-0. Make that 3-1. One of these guys has a spinner, one doesn't. Mikmer's got the alive doll. Rachi coming into a full Para turn. Probably ideal there. Can threaten Thunder. Can CM up. Goes for Thunder and gets a crit. There have been a number of crits and things along those lines in this game. What was a 6-4 game is now 4-4, and it's a lot closer. There's a miss for Zom. Fire Blast would not have been amazing against Doll, but it all adds up. Dragon Claw now, 37%. And Ice Beam from Doll, a relic of older days. We don't see that much anymore. It's going to do 81%, which is a lot, but it's well short of killing, even with Sand. Jirachi fodders itself, and that's going to get the Ments back in. Interesting play. That does force toxic damage on the Doll down to 32%. And that'll be enough for Dragon Claw to kill. Leaves us in a 3-3 as we get into the final portions of this game. T-Tar's healthy. Eats a Brick Break for a lot with that 4x weakness, but Pursuit's going to get him whether he switches or he doesn't. And down that goes. Leaves us in a 3-2. Kuhn comes in on Spikes. All 3 layers. Nothing he can do about it. CM and Hidden Power Grass, 22%. Coon very low here. But there is a CM Thunder Rachi on the other side and a Phaser. He's going to stay in and go for HP Grass anyway. It's going to do 21% this time, but he's either going to have to boost up with him, since we know that it's not a Roar Coon, it showed Ice Beam, we know the full set, or he's going to have to try to phase it out. And that's the plan that he goes for. Goes to Skarm, gets it out of here, and now it's B, which also has to come in on the spikes. Toxic putting a clock on it. Kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't with the 3 layers down. Not a good situation for Zom and his Celebi. Rachi comes in, Leech Seed misses there, which is real obnoxious for Zom. So he is effectively going to be down to last poke Coon any moment now, and here we are. There's the Ice Punch for the kill. It's going to be Coon and only Coon. It's going to have to dodge Thunders, which, again, sometimes it just doesn't get there. But this is not one of those times. It immediately connects and immediately crits, and Mikmer takes game 1. A close one, a back and forth one. Zom at one point had a 6-4 lead, but Mikmer fights back and takes it, certainly with hacks both ways. And Zom is now back against the wall and 1 game away from elimination. He's going to need to win game 2 and a theoretical game 3, or he is going to be out with a disappointing 1-2 from CALLOUS Invitational 6. Here's the second game. Zom is still on the bottom, Mikmer is still on the top. Common leads in Zap and Mence respectively. Switches out rather than Baton passes out because he doesn't want to take that Intimidate with him. And Meta is going to mash his brother. And we see that Meta for Mikmer has lefties. But he pulls it back anyway just in case EQ is coming, which it was. And Salamence is going to prompt him out. It is Fire Blast, indicating a mixed or fully special Mence. But the Fire Blast is not exciting against Zap. Rock Slide, however, is pretty good for 60%. Zapdos going to pass Agility somewhere, and somewhere ends up being a Swampert that is instantly killed by HP Grass. That was a monstrous prediction for Mikmer. I don't know if he was predicting Swampert specifically, or if he thought it would be something like a Cheetah or a Marowak or a Rhydon or whatever. But that was a huge prediction with a massive payoff, just instantly erasing the Swampert and undoing the Agility pass. That's the kind of play that very well might just win Mikmer the game. And certainly he has been ahead ever since that moment and doesn't look to be slowing down. We'll see if Mikmer can capitalize on that one really good prediction and just snowball that to victory. That was not a good explosion for Mikmer, trading with the 27% Zapdos, so if he plays it too aggressively, which you can argue that he did there, maybe he chokes this away. And there's a boom back for Z0mOG, so he's trying to go down to last poke something or other. Magneton into Gyarados is probably not the matchup that he's looking for. He is outsped and 1-hit KO'd by Earthquake. Zom on turn 13 is down to 1 poke, and that is Marowak against the 3 from Mikmer. Double Edge, however, is not a 2-hit KO, and now SD gets off for Z0mOG. Now Lax coming in, that gets Rock Slid just in case the Gyarados had stayed in, which we see it didn't. And Hidden Power something or other is going to get him. Now Cheetar comes in. Double Edge, not good enough. And Hidden Power, I guess it's Bug, is good enough. But now the Gyarados should be faster, and that should just be the game. And it is. Double Edge is going to be good enough. Marowak's going to go down. Mikmer is going to take, in a much faster game this time, the game and the set. A nice 2-0 victory over Zom, knocking him out. And Mikmer is going to continue on in the lower bracket. I think I said all I needed to say about this one. Quick reminder, you guys want to donate. We're taking them. 2K or better is the goal. We hit it last year. I'd like to hit it again. We're close, but we're not quite there. So if you guys have been enjoying the show, do consider donating if you can afford to do so. Anything helps. Also, like button. That's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thanks for doing that, and I will see you guys in the next video.